Hi, hello. Today I'm going to share the secret of drawing portraits. Full disclaimer, these are my secrets. Other artists may have different secrets, so keep that in mind. Number 1. References. I'm sure you guys know the importance of references, but a good reference for portrait needs to have a clear light and shadow. Okay, so these are the pictures of the same person. In picture 1, you can see clear shapes of light and shadow, like there's a line here and then there's a triangle here. But in picture 2, you cannot make out the shapes of light and shadow. It's still a good photo, but if you're a beginner, references like picture 1 will make your life easier. And the great thing is, you can edit your own reference. Like, oh, I wanna draw him with flower crown or glasses, if you have a thing for glasses. And then, just draw from that. You might need multiple references if you're drawing a character with complicated hair and outfit. Yes, Genshin Impact, I'm looking at you. Or you can look for cosplayers and see how the hair and outfit works in real life. If you're still finding your art style, you can collect some artworks of your favorite artists for inspiration. I find this very helpful because whenever I'm stuck, I can just look at it and be like, oh, so that's how they render this part or color that part. But try not to put too much artwork because it can be distracting. Number 2. Anatomy. To put it simply, the eyes are one eye apart. Split the head in half and you get the eyes. Split in half again, you get the nose. And split in half again, you get the mouth. This is not exact, by the way. This is just a general anatomy to help you measure. If you wanna know more about this in detail, go check out my sketching video. After this video, of course. Okay, now, it goes without saying that your drawing doesn't have to be perfectly similar to the reference, because our hands are not printers. But what if you want the drawing to be at least kinda similar to the reference? Like, you wanna draw a portrait of your friends, assuming you have any friends? For me, I try to describe the reference first before drawing. For example, this person has sharp eyes, thin eyebrows, his lips are a bit pouty, and his nose is... I don't know the adjective to use when describing nose, so I'll just say he has a beautiful nose. Of course, it wouldn't be 100% similar, or you can also try using this diamond thing. Basically, you draw a cross, and then a line for the eyebrows, and then draw the lines here, and connect it to the mouth. And when you draw, the facial features should be inside this diamond thing. By the way, I find it easier to sketch the eyes without the lower lines first, because the lower lines can really make or break the eye shapes. Okay, now we clean up the sketch. If your reference doesn't have a clear lower lash line, just draw a teeny tiny eyelashes so the eyes have more shape. We can add more definition in the painting stage. For eyebrows, keep the shape as simple as possible. I know it's tempting to draw individual hair like this, but when you zoom out, it looks weird, right? So leave it for later in the painting stage. Yes, that's the lesson here. Leave everything in the future. The one thing that I define more is the nose, because the shadings for nose is usually trickier than the others, so I wanna get the shape right before shading. Other than that, I keep the shape of the overall portrait simple in the sketching stage. Now, the process you fear the most. Flipping the canvas. Yes, I know what you guys thinking. Fong, what is that? Well, that's why we have Liquify to fix this distortion. But I mean, nobody has perfectly symmetrical face because it looks unnatural. So don't beat yourself up if your drawing is not really symmetrical. Just make sure the corners of the eyes are in one line and the nose and lips are not heavily leaning to one side. Alright, now we have our base colors, which I didn't record because seriously it's the most boring process in this entire thing. So now I'm adding soft shadows to the skin. I basically apply it around the face, but darker on this side because the sun is coming from there. For the hard shadows, I always use lasso tool and airbrush because you see the hard line here. If you're only using a brush, it's kinda hard to get that straight line, so using lasso tool is much easier. After that, fill in the lip color. I'll just use the same color, we can change it later. By the way, I did use dull colors on purpose because they are easier to edit later on. If we use saturated color first, it will be much harder to control. Now I'm going to shade the hair real quick. I always shade the hair from the middle, even though the shadow should be really dark here. But if I draw it like that, it would look like the face and the hair lives on two different islands. So I add a bit of skin color to the hair, so that it would look like the hair is connected to the head. I will also do the outfit. it's good to move on to different parts in the painting after a while. If you're too focused on the face, for example, you might miss the mistakes you're supposed to fix because you're working on it for too long. In my opinion, the most important part of a face is eyebrows. I don't know why, but in my case, my drawing looks ugly right now. But after I add the eyebrows, it looks more bearable. By the way, when drawing eyebrows, color the basic shape first, then add a bit of skin color on the start of the eyebrows so it looks natural. I also add tiny strands of hair with skin color to the eyebrows. Next, let's give him the windows of the soul, aka the eyes. I always color the eyes on different layer and then draw the eyelids on top of it. I only add the shadows first so the eyes don't look out of place. The shadow under the eyes will make your portrait look more realistic. It does take a bit of practice to get used to the under eye shadow, so use lighter color first if you're unsure, then build up to darker shadow little by little. When I paint over a portrait, I always do line art on the outer part of the face. It's like the quickest way to make sure your painting is nice and tidy. Okay, let's move on to the hair for a bit. I always make this shape whenever I'm painting hair. So first of all, we draw this sort of oval shape and then erase the top and the bottom until you get this shape. And then just blur it. Now it's time to add makeup to the portrait. Create overlay layer on top and then lower the opacity and then apply the colors with soft airbrush. You can experiment with different colors and you don't have to follow the reference for the makeup. Don't forget to add colors to the whole face as well, or else the makeup would look out of place. These are the types of layers that I always use. Feel free to pause and read if you want. Basically, the combination of cool colored shadows and warm colored lights are never wrong. Okay, let's move on to highlight. For nose, the highlight is actually placed a little to the side instead of right in the middle. You can see it on the reference as well. For the lips, it's up to your preference. If you like matte, whatever, you can just leave it without highlights. Or if you like real juicy lips, you know, Kulin style, you'll need a lot more highlights. But for now, I will just follow the reference. Don't forget to highlight the cupid's bow as well. Another place you can add highlight to is the eyelashes. Okay, so we draw the eyelashes with small brush and dark color, and then add highlights on top of it. Not too much though. Don't cover up the whole lashes. This gives off the dreamy vibe to the eyes, I guess. Now let me introduce you to rim light. Basically, it highlights the outer part of the portrait, hence the name. It will look like there's a light shining from behind the portrait. I usually combine both airbrush and hard brush for this look, but pay attention to the light source. As you can see, I only highlight this side of the face and leave the other side. It looks more dramatic if you add dark shadow in the middle of the painting, but I think it looks good as it is. For the finishing touch, let's do gradient maps. First, duplicate the layer, then go to Filter, Gradient Maps. There are a bunch of options to choose from. Pick one and then set the layer to soft light, and then lower the opacity. You can use more than one gradient maps. See, it has more color variations and doesn't look monotone. For Ibis Paint users, I'm afraid you have to pay for gradient map, but you can use this one instead, and I have a video on how to use that. After that, go to Filter, Sharpen. This will enhance and, well, sharpen your painting. This step is a must, especially if you want to print and sell your painting. Do not sell blurry paintings, alright? And that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!